Here on my channel and when you watch these videos, I'd like to think that everyone is welcome. I don't want to feel like anybody's left out. Actually, that's not true. I always say those people who come here, like basketball fans, who just want to come here, get picks, put them in, not watch any hockey, hope they win because they heard I had some good I hope they all lose miserably. Like if I knew it was all basketball fans who just place my bets, don't watch any hockey, and just hope they win, I hope my bets are 1,000% wrong all the time. I'm not talking about you basketball fans who are like, you know what? This guy explained this game a little bit. I'm going to watch the Ducks play the Blue Jackets tonight after the Knicks game. I'm going to see what, I'm rooting for you to win. But the basketball clickers, they come here, they get some hockey picks and click. Oh, yeah, I hope they lose. Why would you do that, Andy? Are you like that guy who, when you see the wheel going on The Price is Right, you don't want that random guy to have it land on 100? No, I want them to land on 90. Okay? I want people to be 90% happy because 100% now you're just being greedy. Anyway, I don't want people to feel excluded on this channel. And you know who's felt pretty excluded this last week? Like the last 7 days or so? Danny and Davey. Dan and Dave, the regular guy bettors who their wife lets them watch my video once per week. Yeah, they track it. They check the YouTube history. They make sure that they don't clear it out on a weekly basis. They get one video max, and they want to take the favorite pick and put it on something and say, honey, Andy won us an extra $50 this week. And she goes, good, give it to me. And then she does what she wants with it, as you get just left doing nothing off to the side, and then you can wait 1 week to watch the next video. Well, you've been neglected this last week while we've been banging out these same game mega pirate parlays. But Tuesday night was a night for Dan's and Dave's because the picks that I ended up opening up with, the Kings, it was a pretty comfortable victory, although Columbus, they started out pretty well. I guess that's somewhat to be expected, the first period of team after a long road trip. And the Kings took care of business, kept it under 7.5, so it was a good way to start. And I talked about buying a Colorado ticket. Didn't have to take the ride. It was a pretty clean victory. The props were mixed. No mega same game parlays, but at least it was a night for the Dans and Daves. Pirates, give a chance for Dan and Dave to have themselves a night too. And here on Wednesday, who knows? Maybe we go right back to Blackwater Bay. Maybe we find one or two things that we like. I will say something about this slate. It's very interesting in that if you watch Picking Corners last Friday, you guys know I talked about that game. I said, I have a feeling this late 10:30 game is going to clean out a bunch of people's bad day. I feel like Saturday could go awful, but this game that nobody suspects is going to be able to make people bank and clear out all their losses. And that's exactly what it was. Who was it? It was the San Jose Sharks and the Columbus Blue Jackets. And why would that game be the one that makes people money? Because as we get to 28 games, 25 games left in the season, and these teams are 100% out of the playoff race. So they're truly out of it, and they don't have anything to play for other than, just proving themselves for the following year, proving themselves to their coaches, trying to make the next year's roster. Trying to beef up their stats before becoming free agents, whatever it may be. The teams who are out of it, when they play each other, I believe those ones, they can be duds, but I really think those are ones, as you go down the stretch, that can really explode. You see Colorado, Vancouver. I think when you get closer to the end of the year and you see two teams with playoff aspirations, two teams who the division is still up in the air, you're going to get more games like that. You're going to see two great offenses, and it will be 2-1 in the third period because they don't want to throw caution to the wind. These are very valuable points. You look at the Vancouver Canucks now, they've lost 3 in a row. They see teams creeping up on them in the standings, and now all of a sudden, after being comfortable all year, maybe the division's in question. So you're going to see teams probably be a little more conservative. Other than the New York Islanders, who will just blow any and every single lead since the beginning of time. But when you have two bad teams playing each other, it opens plenty of doors and possibilities to nail some player prop parlays, overs, and everything like that. And we clearly have two of these on the slate. And my thought is one of these two is going to be like that game between the Sharks and Columbus on Saturday. We got Montreal playing the Sabres, and then we got that same Columbus team still on the West Coast playing Anaheim, who's been engaging in some of their own ruckus games along the way. I'm going to start with the earlier game. This one I kind of have a better feeling about a little bit. I don't even really know what that means when you're talking about teams this bad, but I'm looking at Sabres-Canadiens. The first thing I'm seeing is the over 6.5. In the event that this game goes that way, why not play freely? You're out of the playoffs. Experiment. Do things that you normally wouldn't do. I've been holding it. We're still not going to talk about it, but the clenched ass cheeks theory is the opposite. For those of you who remember that from the previous two playoffs, the clenched ass cheeks theory is the polar opposite of being eliminated from the playoffs. You're trying to hold on in the playoffs and take zero chances. Well, when you know you're out of the playoffs, you can take as many chances as you want. And I'm hoping for some of that, which is why I'm going to take the over 6.5 in this game between Buffalo and the Montreal Canadiens. And I know this one didn't work out the other day, but if it doesn't work out, I'm not just going to turn my back on it. I'm going to take Skinner and Tage Thompson both to register a point in a plus money parlay. They're on the top line, top power play together against Montreal's PK. I mean, in the event that goals are scored in this game, I really think they should be on the score sheet and click for one of them. So I'm going to take both of them for a point, a plus money same game parlay. And also what I'm going to do, you guys remember when I called that tiered sniffing if I like a team on the money line, but I really like them to win the game? I said, I'll do 70% on the money line, 20% on the -1.5, and then 10% on the -2.5, considering early goalie pulls and things like that. Well, I'm going to do some player point prop tiered sniffing. And how do I do that? So let's say you were going to bet, feel free to add as many zeros as you want to this number. Let's say I'm going to bet $10 on those two guys to register a point. I'm going to do 7 on that, both to register a point parlay, and then another 3 on Skinner to get an assist and Tage Thompson to register a point. I'm pretty sure that's close to like plus 275, plus 300. And when you think about how that power play operates, Skinner gets a lot of perimeter touches. I think he's a good candidate for an assist, which is, a decent bet in and of itself. But I'm going back with that combo. We will see how it works out. When I'm looking for these player props, I'm trying to pick them in games where the score could be run up. You don't ever really see me pick them against like, oh yeah, they're playing Ottinger in Dallas. Give me a line mate player point parlay. I'm looking for them in the games where goals can be scored. I tried with Kempe and Kopitar. We missed on Kopitar. We got Kempe. Why? Because they're home against the Columbus Blue Jackets. So I'm looking for the right spots to do that in. This could be one. And why am I not going on the other side? Because the juice is not worth the squeeze when it comes to Caulfield and Suzuki. They don't give you decent prices. So I'm trying to chase decent prices in games where the script could tend to shoot out a little bit more. So that's the first one. And then the second one would be Anaheim and Columbus. Let's go with the over 6.5 there. And I really am tempted to take Anaheim with that -120. But just seeing the Kings get off to that slow start and knowing what Carlos said, he's right, man. And if you watch that game, Pierre-Luc Dubois, and I know he doesn't have many legs to stand on right now the way he started this year, but he said in the intermission, well, it's always the hardest to come back after a trip. That's why the first period was a little bit slow. Everybody can't be lying, but just know if this was their second game back home, I think I would take Anaheim in this one. But this one also has ruckus potential. And you want to know who I'm going to go with on Anaheim? This is a duo I was able to nail one of my line mate 2-pointers on last week. And this is Troy Terry and Mason McTavish. They play together on the same line and same power play unit. Now, the Ducks split up their power play units. So the first unit gets a minute, second unit gets a minute. So I'm not really worried whether they're listed on the top unit or second unit. All I want is those max opportunities that they can get it. And they need to be on the same line and on the same power play. So I want to do some tiered sniffing. I'll take both of them to register a point. And then if I'm going to do $10, I'll do 8 on both of them to register a point, and then 2 on both of them to register 2 points. So I like the over 6.5 there with the slightest of a single nostril sniff on the Anaheim Ducks. Outside of there, there's a marquee matchup on this slate. Like when you look at this slate, it's like, all right, what is this? All right, two teams are out of it. Philly trying to hold that 3 seed in the Metro. Okay, all right, they're playing the Blackhawks. But then you see the Boston Bruins playing the Edmonton Oilers. Now, the Edmonton Oilers, since this All-Star break, they've given you a little bit of everything. They've lost a few. They're letting in more goals. I think we were ahead of this overtrain. Should we continue it? If this was a couple weeks back, I would say no. I would not continue the overtrain because they're playing Boston. And this is a team, it's like how I just said, I'm not going to give line mate combos against good defensive teams who have last year's Vezina winner and maybe a Vezina candidate this year in Swayman. I will say, if you've watched some of these last couple of Boston has conceded a couple goals and a couple straight. What was it? 3 to Dallas, 3 or 4 to LA, 4 to Seattle. This one is I can do the coward's way out of both teams to score 2+, but what I really like in this game, the price on it's great. Pavel Zacha playing with DeBrusk on one wing and Pasternak on the other wing, and then centering Pasternak on the power play as well. You get all those free touches with a face-off win. In a game against Edmonton, Edmonton's been conceding. You look at these last couple of games. Gave up 3 to Arizona. They gave up 4 to Dallas. They've been letting in goals, and I think both teams to score 2+ in this one is a good bet, and also Pavel Zacha to register a point. And if you want to do some tiered sniffing, you have $10, $8 on him to register a point, $2 for an assist. Because if you're playing with Pasternak, whose point total is always at 1.5, and you're the center on that line, ruckus, I will take a crack at that. And speaking of those Coyotes, they're hosting the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I just want to warn you, buyer beware. If you're a chalk bettor, you're the chalkiest of chalk bettors, and you see, oh yeah, what did Arizona lose like 8 in a row? And what did Toronto? They win a couple in a row? Oh, I gotta take Toronto, and I gotta take Austin Matthews to score. How much of a chalk thought process is everything in your life? If you were thinking Toronto to win with an Austin Matthews goal, you're the guy who walks by a store at the mall and you see an outfit in the window, you go, I think I'm going to get that outfit right there. You're a window outfit purchaser. That's what you are. If you're taking Toronto to win with a Matthews goal, you're an Aeropostale Abercrombie and Fitch. You see that in the window and you go, oh, I needed a swimsuit. I don't know why, as guys, we're getting swimsuits, but I needed a swimsuit. It's 2024. There probably are some guys' swimsuits out there. I think Arizona fired a couple warning shots these last couple of games. First in Colorado. By the way, Colorado, their first home game back, spelled some trouble. It was tied in the third. Arizona scored, and it got overturned on a challenge. Colorado ended up squeaking it out, winning at the end of the third. Then they went home, and they were up in the third on Edmonton. Now, they lost both of those games. But to me, that's a team firing 2 warning shots. So if I'm going to go with a side in this game, I would prefer the +1.5 for the Arizona Coyotes. We're not getting that bad of a price on it. So if you're going to show me a decent price, I will show you a good time. And I also think that's another game where both teams can score 2+. I honestly think on this slate, every single team, I would take both teams to score 2+ other than the Flyers-Chicago game. I will take them. You're going to do it, aren't you? You're going to parlay all 4 together? All right, go ahead. Go ahead. It's Wednesday. Give yourself something fun to do. That is what I have for you here on a Wednesday. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Make sure you're subscribed here to my YouTube channel. You guys know the rules. All right. 135 comments, 7,500 views. I'll upload it in the middle of the night. I'll be dishing you your sniffs. And outside of that, if you guys want the updated picks, I put an assortment of additional parlays on the Patreon. That's where I will be able to update the stuff based on any new information that comes out, goaltending, this, that, and the other, and that's where I'll post my additional parlays. We got a lot of people on there now, and there are people contributing in there. I mean, I don't know who they are, but other people are enjoying tailing some of their bets as well. So go hop on there, meet the rest of these freaks, and you can tail some of their bets as well. I know a bunch of people on there are enjoying it. Hopefully I see you guys there. It's patreon.com/Andy Francess, and I'll be able to answer any additional questions that I can talk about maybe a little bit more on Friday for Picking Corners. Speaking of which, on Friday, got a surprise for you. We got another Josh episode, a little trickle-down Snakeonomics episode with Josh. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys are too. Take it easy. I will see you tomorrow for Thursday Sniffs.